All right, this is going to be charting for tomorrow, which will be March 16th, Monday. Quickly, just want to go over um, the news that we have. We don't have any news Monday, Tuesday, no red folder Wednesday. We have PPI as well as FOMC, unemployment claims on Thursday, and then nothing on Friday. Not sure what we'll get on Monday, Tuesday, but we'll get into that. Just starting here on the quarterly chart. Currently have an SMT with NQYM here. And if we drop down on the monthly, same thing with this November low. We missed it on ES by just a tick, so I do believe we are going to continue to come down here. Further, right, we had discussed this previously, but if we do look at the rebalance point, right, on these assets with YM, right, we can see that EQ, and I'm going to start making a video series breaking down the steps of the framework and model, but we can see, right, in this given range here, EQ of this range, or EQ of X range, right, lands here. And furthermore, right, in discount is this gap. So in order for continued expansion, right, we would first need to rebalance the previous expansion leg, i.e. within discount of these legs. So this is an area in which I've been monitoring for quite some time here to see where the SMT occurs and whether we hit the point of rebalance, right, and then start expanding, or do we continue lower. So anyways, that was what I had been monitoring. Let me pull this up real quick. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, and then, so anyway, so let's drop down and then we'll start changing. So we currently have that SMT, right, like with November low. And now let's just get into moving all of our lines so we can figure out what's going on coming to this next week. Oops. Yo, what's up, bro? You watch? I thought you were out of the club or something, bro. You watching the charting from the from the club, bro, or what?
Nah, the weather was already getting tornado warnings.
Oh, dude, I'm out of that.
You know,
No, thank you, bro.
I can't hit my goal of 3 beers tonight.
Well, why not? Hit
Well,
him at
because
home, bro.
tornadoes. That's what I said, so I came home.
Yeah, dude, just have your beers at home. You know,
Yeah.
some Wick, huh, dude? A lot of Wick action here. A lot of John Wick going on. I do see.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, bro.
That's what it's. Yeah, I gotta get on the daily and start fixing this first before I get too discombobulated. They're straight. That was just a straight. Do. Friday. Okay, well, I like that. Point of rejection here on the daily. See what we got going on. Yeah, with this guy. and then go like this. Boom. Oh, nailed it. Gosh. Did you know what TradingView needs to do? Okay, I have two quarrels with TradingView slash trading in general right now. Number one is that these should be able to be put on like a macro. You should be able to hit like control and a key, so that you can use your lines, etc. I know that some of them have them, but like custom ones. But also, dude, when you're logged in on and you're like on your TradeAvate account, right? When you enter a position, you should be able to drag from the position entry up to put a stop and down to put your TP automatically. And furthermore, when you put your stop up there, it should tell you, depending on whether your chart's in ticks or money, it should tell you the risk associated. So like when you pull that up there, it's like minus 1,000 and you can drag it down to get to minus 600 or whatever. So you can always manage your risk, because if you're in a trade, like if you just market order in and then you set up your like risk to reward thing, it'll put a limit smack dab on top of your current live order,
Right.
which can totally screw you. Anyways, that I think that's annoying, but
That
uh
I like the idea of like you can select like
yeah, dude.
I want to apply the Gon box to the daily candle, the Friday's candle, and it'll apply it to NQ, YM, and ES all at the same.
The
That would
Gone
be,
box, dude. I haven't heard about that thing since the beginning of time, bro.
dude. I was using just like the fib pool, but if you
Yeah.
use the Gon box, it makes it so much easier to make sure it's anchored to direct points like the top or bottom. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Okay. I want to look at this here. Yep. Before I start doing analysis. But I do like that we are holding EQ of this wick. But let's get back here. And now I want to go back to the weekly. Oops. Okay. So like you're asking like, would I be drawing EQ of this weekly wick? Here's the thing: is like we could, right? But notice where this previous week rebalance point is, right? It's here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say this actually. Let me measure here. Okay, okay, okay. Hear me out here. I think it is valid. I think it's valid to mark out weekly EQ of the upper wick here in this scenario. And here's why. Based on where previous day high is sitting, I could likely see an SMT here, right? Like this won't get here to EQ, right? And
Right.
look where this EQ is, right? So could we rebalance to this EQ? I could see that, right? Or something like that. I don't know if that'll happen in one day, because if that were to happen, all previous day highs would be taken. You can see that, right? Potentially, but or furthermore, maybe not. Maybe NQ takes previous day high at previous week EQ, and we don't get there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I can
something
see
like that.
YM not reaching its POI at some point this week or next week, and that creates SMT.
Yep, exactly, something like that. So previous week EQ. That's not what I wanted. I wanted previous day low red, so I can change it. This is going to be EQ of weekly upper wick, and then we're going to put that on the top. We're going to make that 10, maybe 11, because I'm blind these days. We're going to copy that and we're going to paste it over here and just scooch it on down. Boom. All right. I'm going to take that. That's good. That's good. I guess just for like uniformity, I'm going to stick it over here. That's fine. Okay. Boom. So, yeah, quite a lot of areas of interest in terms of lines.
Mm-hmm.
And furthermore, it's like, you know, are you? Oh yeah, now you got to hit EQ of the previous day upper wick. This is where I would say maybe you start. This is where it's like it gets too much.
Right.
But
It's
then,
the longer stuff.
but then on the other side of it, does it right? You have the escrow. Does it like if you mark out all these levels? Does it if as long as as long as you have clear understanding of your framework, right? Is it really too
Right.
much? Because the reality is like you're measuring this upper wick. If we're long bias and we're in longs, we would obviously just disregard the upper wick at some point. You know what I mean? So like
Right.
even if we were to
For
move
sure.
through it, but at the same time, what happens if we do get there and we do create a retracement? Well, we can partial. You know, so like
Right.
even though it might look confusing and like a lot of makeup to like other people who are like going to see the charting, for us, because of how we're developing our framework every day with right, like these levels can be important, so I'm going to put it in there. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do this previous day low, and I'm just going to say EQ of the upper wick. I'm going to make this 11, and I'm going to put that on top as well. And then I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to put it here. Move this down. And then I'm going to fade these. When I take my screenshots, I think what I'm going to start doing is like when I'm taking the weekly one, I'll just have to hide the daily levels, And then when I take the dailies, I'll just hide the weeklies. Or something like that.
Yeah, that's some tech that I feel like it can be done to where you like to where it's easy to set up and easily switch between seeing what markups.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
exactly.
I
Yeah,
just don't know how to do it.
same, dude, same. But that's okay. Like, okay, so look, now we can monitor this, right? So like, this is maybe a little far out because can't read anything. There we go. Okay. I mean, it honestly, it's not that cluttered. Like you, if you, and you know what I mean. Like it
Yeah,
makes sense. It makes sense
it does. It doesn't look bad.
because look,
It's
this
just
already
so much
tells me.
info.
This tells me right here. Look, we run up to previous day EQ. That's also in line with previous week EQ, right? And then above this in premium, right? If this is discount, let's just right. Like if this is discount here, oh my goodness, right? If that's discount and this is premium up here, okay. Do we have key levels of area of interest in a premium of the range? Well, right above this our EQ line, we've got PD arrays right here.
Right.
Look, right above EQ in discount, we have a PD array. Look at all these PD arrays. None of these are in discount, right? So let's talk about this actually, because this maybe changes bias, right? Notice how YM, none are in premium, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so does that mean, let's just hypothetically say NQ runs to premium, right? Boom. But YM's down here. Then we get the SMT rejection, right? Because one asset's in a premium, it reverses, and then obviously YM rebalances and reverses, right? Or we
Right.
could get option two. NQ runs into a premium and then consolidates. Why? Because none of YM's key levels are in premium, which means maybe YM has to then continue in strength switch to get to the premium before they can move lower. But I don't think so. And the reason I don't is because this is the BS that I'm looking for right here. Whatever trade is going to happen where this current 2 point equal low situation with November low gets swept, that's what I'm looking for because this is very unhealthy for the market.
Yeah.
So I want this. I want to rebalance into EQ. I want us to take out SMT, potentially a two stage, whatever it takes with news, and then a beautiful setup for lower. But who knows? Because we did take the low and are back inside the range right now. So, we're kind of neutral, so to speak. I wonder what the 4-hour is going to look just right. Look, boom. We've got this bearish order block with all these key levels and slash PD arrays are areas of interest, right? Right. And then I was even looking at this earlier. Notice how we create the CSD on the 30, right? Rebalance, and now we're consolidating. Asia's consolidating. Where? Right below, right? Right below this area. Right below, right? You see? So then do we?
Manipulation.
Yes, or who knows? But so then where's rebalance? Well, let's just say this is the range. We don't go any higher. Here's an unmanipulated low resting right above discount of this area, right? So, anyways, we'll have to see what happens. But looks kind of. We don't have any news tomorrow. Well, we technically we have orange folder, but still 5:30, so it's 8:30. No, it's just 5. All right, let's get the screenshots.
Is this week FOMC? Is that what I
Yeah,
was hearing in the chat?
yeah, yes, you were FOMC Wednesday. We have PPI 5:30 and then 11 o'clock FOMC, 11:30 press conference. Yep. And then Thursday is my birthday, and we have unemployment claims.
Yeah.
So hopefully this week goes good. On it, to be honest, dude. Last week I was great. I didn't take it. We didn't take. I didn't take a trade all week until Friday, and it was a great trade.
Yeah.
It was a great trade. All right, we got that. This is dailies. Let me just screenshot this real quick. Boom, boom, boom. I need to start pulling the trigger on my funded. I keep treating my. I'm not my funded. I keep treating my. I bought like 2 weeks ago. I bought eval. But then but because I've been like, so diligent with my cash account where I'm trading like, I won't trade or I just wait. I started to apply the same logic to the eval. So I'm not like, trading one different than the other. But now I've sat on that eval with no trades on it for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I need to start pulling the trigger before the. And I was reading. Were you telling me about Lucid? Someone was talking about Lucid. Anyways, they look they look good, dude.
The firm?
Yeah, dude, they got like a good little. Wow, the 4 hours just like a mess. Here we go. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Is this like, oh my goodness, we got literally equal lows with previous week low here on YM. Is that the same on? Yeah, that's funny. It doesn't have the wick here. Okay, well, I want to see that. I want to see this. This now needs to get taken. So let's do that. Okay. Is it? I don't know what I was going to say there. Boom. Take this, copy, get to our journal for tomorrow. Boom, paste this in there. Copy that out again and paste it. Okay, so we got the daily and the 4-hour. And yeah, we'll have to see. We got this rebalance. We could reject EQ of this 4-hour OB. It'll be interesting to see what occurs overnight through Asia and through London. But that's all I got for this recording, so I'll stop that and then we'll chat in the morning.